Hey guys, what's up? It's Willy B back with episode 5 of Bukkit plugin tutorials. Today we're going over events. More specifically, there was a request put in from, I think their name was Loarshem. If I'm pronouncing that wrong, I apologize. But they were looking for a tutorial on, they wanted a player to right click with a diamond and it run a command to send them to parkour. So we're going to be doing that, but without the parkour because we don't actually have a parkour thing. And then we're just going to also add in when they log in, we're going to set it so they get the item that we're going to set up. So let's get started here. Obviously you need Eclipse for this. So new project, and you want Java project. We'll name this event tutorial. Open that up, src, new package. So we're going to call this, you switch out inamine with your own name, but me.inamine.events, I guess, finish, and then inside of that we need a new class, and we'll just call that main, and another class called listener class. There. So in our main class, we don't need much here. There's no commands for this, so all we need for here is just the on enable and on disable. So first off, here we need to do extends Java plugin, and then you'll need to import that. Oh, right. First off, right click your project, go to build path, configure build path, and then you're going to want to add external jars, and then you just go to wherever your version of Spigot is, or Bukkit, or whatever you're using. You want a newest version if you can. I'm just using 1.12. Hit apply and close it, and then we mouse over that. Import Java plugin. Alright, so now we need override public void on enable, and then inside here plugin manager pm equals bucket.get server .get plugin manager, and then we'll need to import plugin manager. Make sure you get from org.bucket.plugin and not org.apache. And then pm.register events. We want put a new listener class, parentheses, and then our main class. So here it's just this. Oh, right, and then in listener class, we have to add implement listener. And save that. Oh, import that from org.bucket.event. Save it, and then that'll fix that. And then something I always do when I'm making plugins, I do this .get logger.info, and then I just add a line for the console to say the plugin is finished starting up. So I'll just write exactly that. Plugin has finished starting up. And when you have the have it do this .get logger, it gets the logger for the plugin. So when your plugin yml, it uses the prefix from that. Or the plugin name if you don't have the prefix set. Next we need to do add override public void on disable, and then in here we do whatever we want for closing the plugin or shutting it off. So I usually put the same thing, just plugin has shut down. And then that way, if you do want to put stuff on disable, you'll know for sure that it is safely shut down. It doesn't mean much for here for disable, but for here, this showing up in the console shows that nothing here caused an error. So we kind of have a placement for that. So it's just kind of a nice way to, make sure your plugin's doing the right thing. And it's kind of just, it's pointless for this plugin because everything here works, but it's a good practice that I try to do with all of my plugins. So for the events, for the listener class here, we're going to be handling the onJoin event and the onInteract event. So we'll start with the onJoin. So at event handler, public static void onJoin, and it's important to get the onJoin event here. So player join event e. On login is slightly different than on join, so you want to make sure you get player join event. We'll have to import event handler. Okay, and so in here we're just going to get the player. So player equals e.get player. So that's the player that joined. We're going to need to import that. So org.bukkit.entity. And then we're going to send the player a message, like a welcome message here. So player.send message. We're also going to use chat color for this. So chat color.translate alternate color codes. And then single quote here. So just surround the character, the ampersand there. And then the text we want it to translate that from. And I usually use this like in a messages file as well. So you would just use your file manager to get the string you want, and then it would translate it right there. So what we'll do here, we'll just do ampersand 6, ampersand L. I was missing a parentheses there. We'll do welcome to the server, and then add a space at the end of that, add a plus sign, and then player dot get name. We'll actually make it so it changes the color of the player as well. So ampersand E, make it yellow, I think, and then ampersand O to make it italics. So then here, I'm going to close this actually, so it's just this screen. So next we want to do the item, and we're going to make it a diamond, and we're going to make it have just a name. I don't want to get into the lore or any of that stuff. It's a little too much, and I think we've gone over that in a previous episode. So I'm just going to make it material mat equals material dot diamond, and of course I imported it there. Okay, and then item stack item equals new item stack mat for the material, and then 1 for the amount. So we're just, the item stack we're giving is just org.bukkit inventory here. Is just giving 1, and then item meta, I think that's correct. Yep. So import that. Meta equals item dot get item meta, and then here we're going to want to do meta dot set display name. We can also do chat color with this as well. Chat color dot, and we'll just do light purple, just to avoid the hassle of just to avoid the whole alternate color code thing. So what this does when you use it like this instead of the translate alternate color codes, it just sets from there on it to light purple. So we'll do here, we'll just call it game, we'll call it creative changer. It's kind of a stupid name, but serves the purpose. Then we do item dot set item meta, and then we set it to just meta, and then player dot get inventory dot add item. And just like that, we've created an item and given it to the player when they join. And then event handler public static void on interact player interact event. We'll call that E. And then, I get the wrong. Oh, just gotta import it. Right, okay. So import that, and then inside here, if E. Actually, we'll do item stack item equals E dot get item. If, and then we're gonna make it so they have to right click to get the or to change their game mode. So we're gonna have it set it to game mode 1, and we're gonna have it set it so the player runs the command. So it's making sure they have the permissions to do it when they send the command. So if E dot get action dot equals, and then we do action dot, and you'll see here we have a lot of actions here, and then there's more here. So default displayed enemy or MN, I don't know, a bunch of stuff here. But the stuff we're looking for is the left click air, left click block, and the right click air, right click block. So there's other stuff here, and there's a lot of things you can do with this, but we're just looking for right click air or to pipe, and then we're going to just copy and paste this. Copy, paste, and we'll set this to right click block. So if they right click the arrow or right click the block, then player equals E dot get player, because otherwise we don't really care. Actually, we'll move item stack item in there as well, just so it's not doing any work unless it actually is right click arrow, right click block. And then we'll do player dot perform command, and then here we don't need to put the slash, so it's just game mode 1. Oh, actually, made a tiny mistake here. If we're going to need that after item, so if item dot get type dot equals material dot diamond and item dot has item meta. So we want to check if the item actually has any extra data, because we don't want to get a null from it not having a display name. So we'll do if item dot get item meta dot get display name equals chat color dot light purple plus and then creative changer exclamation mark. And we're going to want to put this in parentheses here, just so it knows exactly what we're talking about. So if it has the I'll actually put and item dot get item meta dot has display name. So we'll just make sure it has the display name as well. So we'll do item dot get meta dot get display name to get the display name off of the item, and then chat color light purple is the string we're trying to match it to. So if that is all true and correct, it'll run that command. So all of that's done, and we'll go back over here, and we just need to create a file, and this is going to be our plugin .yml, and then inside of that plugin .yml, we're going to need I haven't done a new plugin.yml in a while. Okay, so inside of our plugin.yml, make sure you edit this with Notepad++ or something else that works um, with your YML file. So you don't want to use just Notepad. A lot of people have issues with that. We want name and then the plugin name without spaces, so event tutorial. We want the version, so version is just 1.0. We can add description, so we'll add, we don't need the description, but it's useful to have it. So when you run version or info on the plugin, it'll give you the description. So we'll just set it to gives player item to change game mode. And then I do believe we need main. So this is me.inamine dot events dot main, and then we'll also add author. So this is where you put your own name. I'm going to put inamine because that's me. You can put whatever your name is. You can put whatever you want there. It's not necessary for the plugin, but it's a nice way to give yourself a pat on the back for having completed something. So you're going to hit F5 to reload to make sure everything's saved there. And then export jar file. And then you don't need the class path of the project. It just makes the file size larger. You can keep them in if you wish. I don't remember the exact purpose of them. I never use them on my own plugins just to save space. And then you're going to want to find your workspace. You're going to want to find a place to save your jar file. Name it event tutorial or whatever you want to name it. Hit finish. And then you're going to want to get your file up, or your server up. You're going to want to get to your plugin.yml or your plugins folder on your server. Navigate to where you have your plugins saved. So for me, I need to remember. Okay, so we have event tutorial. I'm just going to drag that over. It's off the screen here, but drag that onto my test server, and then boot up Minecraft here. Okay, so I just reloaded the server, and it's looking like our plugin is loaded up properly. So I'm just going to disconnect and then reconnect. And then you'll see down here, welcome to the server inamine. So it does the chat color properly, and I've got a diamond here, creative changer. And then if I right click that, appears I have done something wrong here. I tested this out before, but I was feeling fun and decided to add the part about the chat color for the name of the diamond. So just give me a moment here. Okay, so I figured out our issue, and it's very slight, and it annoys me that I didn't even notice this when I was writing it. But we need to change the double equal sign here. So it was that. So we just need to change the double equal sign to dot equals, and that actually solves all of our issues. So we'll export, next, get rid of those, finish, open up our folder, upload it to the server, hop onto the server, hit F11 I guess. Okay, will that work? Okay, so Minecraft is actually kind of weird, but we do reload. So we reload the server. I'm going to get rid of that. Game mode 0. Go into survival mode. Disconnect. Oops. Server. Reconnect. And then we have our creative changer item. Welcome to the server inamine. And I want to join the game. and then we right click that, your game mode has been changed, or has been updated to creative mode, and we can right click that as many times as we want. And it'll continue to run the /game mode 1 command. So that is all for today. If you enjoyed this tutorial, leave a like, hit subscribe if you want to be kept updated with future tutorials. Also, I'm trying to do live streams. Tried one out earlier today, did not work out well. So I'm curious on if that's going to continue. But I am going to try to upload some gaming videos, which would be pretty sweet. But yeah, for the most part, I'm going to be doing these tutorials and some plugin demos. So stay tuned for more awesome content. Thanks for watching. And as always, peace out.